Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk a little bit about Michael Jackson's background. You know, he started singing when he was just a little guy.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years old, something like that. He was performing, and he was a superstar from a very early age. Even when he was a little kid, he was famous on magazine covers. They had #1 hits, him and his brothers, right? The Jackson 5.
He had lots of older brothers. He was the youngest.
Yeah.
I remember one of their first songs was called One Bad Apple Don't Spoil the Whole Bunch, Girl.
Oh,
and Michael always sang lead, which is the singer that gets the melody and everybody else sings backup. He was really great.
The main singer. And so, of course, with this kind of life, he didn't have a normal childhood or friendships. They were on the road all the time, touring, doing shows all around America and around the world. And so for him, you know, a normal childhood, like going to school, having friends, playing sports with his buddies, well, that kind of thing didn't happen. It was all family, work.
Yeah, and his dad was kind of rough on them. He forced Michael and the brothers to rehearse about 15 hours a day. They would practice their singing and their dance routines. A dance routine is simply all of the steps that you put together to make up a dance. So they were always rehearsing, always practicing. That's what rehearse means, to practice either dancing or singing or acting. You can rehearse a play too.
So young Michael, because he didn't have a lot of normal friends, he often turned to animals for companionship. Now, when you have companionship, you have people with you, or in his case, animals, but someone to keep you company, someone to not let you feel lonely. Maybe
hang
you
out
can
with.
Tell your problems to, talk to about things that are going on. And so we use this expression, he turned to animals. That means when you don't have something, you often go to another thing. Or in a time of great trouble, you might turn to your friends. You might go to these people looking for help, looking for some support. And for Michael, I know his relationship with his brothers could be a little tough because he was the youngest but the most famous. And so some of the older brothers were a little
jealous.
bit, they were jealous of that. So who did he have to really keep him company?
I know, it was rough. You know, he had a lot of animals with him. Now, I wanted to explain turn to. Sometimes you can turn to someone like this, right? But like Mike said, we're just talking about maybe directing your attention to something else, or maybe going to someone else for some help.
You have some kind of problem or some kind of need. This is the person who you reach to or turn to.
Turn to, here is our shortcut for you. So let's take a closer look.
Shortcut for you.
I need some advice.
When I need advice, I usually turn to my parents.
Where should I turn to?
Turn to means to go to someone or something when you need help.
Oh, so turn to means 求助语. So you mean you turn to your parents when you need advice?
Yeah, they can usually help me out.
Yeah, well, I don't think I can turn to my parents this time.
Why not?
I need advice on how to tell my parents I failed my math test.
In that case, you can turn to me. I have a lot of experience in that area.
So the animals he would turn to for companionship or friendship.
They were always there. They wouldn't laugh at him or make fun of him or scream and ask him for his autograph.
Or want to kiss him like some of the girls did.
So they were always there to be just friends.
He had some interesting animals. He had 30 rats in his room.
They should clean that house.
Also kept snakes. I bet the rats were for the snakes to eat. And he had a lot of other creatures with him, but his favorite, of course, was Bubbles, a chimpanzee.
Okay, so chimpanzees, we already mentioned. It's a kind of ape, which is kind of like a monkey, but a little bit different, often a little bit smarter, too. They often use chimpanzees for acting and TV shows and commercials and things like that.
But Michael actually treated Bubbles like a person. When you treat someone a certain way, it just means That's how you act towards them. You know, if I treated Mike rudely, I might hit him and say, "Oh, I don't like you.
You treated
Shut
me
up."
badly.
I know.
Why are you treating me badly?
But that's not how Michael treated Bubbles.
No, I hope not.
To treat here is our word power word. Let's listen to some more definitions.
Word Power. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Word Power. Today's word is treat. Today we read that Michael treated Bubbles like a person. Here, treat is a verb, which means to behave towards someone or deal with something in a particular way. For example, Ryan always treats his parents with respect. Treat can also mean to buy or do something special for someone that you know they will enjoy. For instance, Bob treated his girlfriend to dinner. Lastly, treat can also be used as a noun, which means a special and enjoyable occasion or experience. For example, going to the amusement park was a real treat. That's all the time we have for Word Power today. Thanks for listening.
Now, he did things with Bubbles that most people do with other people, right? It wasn't just, playing with him outside or teaching him how to do tricks. He would actually eat dinner or eat meals with Bubbles at the same table.
I know.
That's a little
and he'd
interesting.
also dress up Bubbles in real clothes, like people clothes. He would also ride with Michael Jackson in first class when they took planes.
That's right. When he went on tour, and that's what singers often do, they travel from city to city doing shows. Every week they might be in 2 or 3 different cities on tour for 3-4 months at a time, maybe even longer. Bubbles would actually go in the airplane in first class.
Have his own seat.
Is that allowed?
Eat his own steak.
Can you bring your own monkey? I don't know about these days if you would be allowed to do that.
He was Michael Jackson,
I guess
though.
so. When you're famous, you can.
You can do a lot of things.
And then he also watched the shows. That was interesting. I didn't know about that.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, he had his own seat in the front row, probably.
Yep.
At the show.
And Bubbles would clap at the end of the songs.
Don't you think Bubbles would think, I saw this, I know this song?
I know what comes next.
Right, now here's the part where he dances. Anyway, that must have been cool for the fans because Bubbles was so famous.
Yeah.
They could say, oh, look, there's Bubbles, and he's watching Michael, and wow.
He was on TV specials when I was growing up.
Yep, I remember him taking him to the Grammy Awards or one of those big award
It was like
shows.
his date.
And he had Bubbles there like a baby.
I know. The two of them were inseparable. This word means you can't separate two things. They're kind of stuck together.
Two best friends, go everywhere together, do everything together, inseparable. Like Stephanie and I.
Yes. And while we're being inseparable, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher. Don't go away.